So you finally decided that you want to do something, you want to make a change. But where do you start? Where's the starting point? What's happening, Achievers? Ajit Sidhu here from Invincible Achievers. So if you finally made a decision that you want to make a change, you want to improve, you want to do something different, where do you start? Now that is a question that stops a lot of people from progressing. That question is almost like a brick wall. Where do I start? Oh, I don't know where to start. Oh, it's too much trouble. I don't know where to start. I'll forget it. I'll just go back to my old ways and revert back to the old ways. You don't want to do that. It's very easy. You start with yourself. No matter what you do, you always need to start with yourself. If you want to invest and become an investor, you got to start with yourself. Educate yourself. If you want to go into business, there's a lot of people on forums that I see that say, oh, I've started a business, but what do I do now? I've registered a business, what do I do now? I've opened up a nursery, what do I do now? It's just like, no. You need to know what to do before you get into it. You need to understand yourself to know if it's the right path to take. And the only way you're going to start with yourself is self-education. Now there's 3 levels of self-education that you can actually do. And imagine it like a staircase, with 3 steps. The first step is reading books. Now reading books is the lowest level. Reading books, you read the books. Books are amazing. I love books. I love reading books. I read books in the mornings. It's amazing. It relaxes you. It opens your mind up as well to lots of different ideas. However, it's the lowest level in education. It's almost like getting a textbook to learn about a language, and you're reading a language. The next level is doing a course. You actually purchase a course and then go through that course with someone interacting with you and pushing you, and that person on screen is giving you ideas that trigger off actions and you taking actions. Watching something, listening to something and doing creates that remembrance inside of you. You are able to remember it much more than just passively read. So that's the next level course. But if you're going to buy a decent course, a book will probably cost you from £6 to £10. A course will probably cost you from £200 to £2,000, depending on the level of expertise the person has. But the highest level is actually going to a class, going to a seminar and being immersed, fully immersed with everyone, watching everyone. It's exactly like Tony Robbins' UPW. I could read his books that he's got out, which motivates. I could watch his videos on YouTube, and also I could buy his course and watch it, and that motivates me. But actually being there for 4 days straight, day and night, shifts and changes everything. Similar to, you can read about Disney theme park. You can read about all the rides. You can figure out all the routines of what to do. Or you can sit down and watch a documentary about the same thing. Now, watching the documentary, you start feeling more. You get to experience more. There's more senses involved. But actually going to Disneyland or Disney World and experiencing the waiting in the queue, the enjoyment, the songs, the themes, it's absolutely different. It goes straight into the core. It's so important to actually immerse yourself with like-minded people if you are trying to achieve a certain goal. That's why exercising, you can read exercise books and think, yeah, I'll do it. Or you can watch exercise videos and do it in your house. Or you can join a gym and be in an environment where everyone is working out. Now, obviously, nowadays, some people have got their phones in the gym, and that you just want to go, whoosh, exercise. However, you want to be in a situation, you want to immerse yourself in an environment. The thing is, when you do start, you probably want to start with a book. Start with a book, read it. You don't want to start straight into a course. If you are someone that's actually done courses before, then do jump into it. But if you do buy a course first time, there's a high chance that you will not go through it by yourself because you won't be self-motivated. I heard a statistic that 95% of the people that actually buy courses don't go through it. I thought that was mind-boggling. I actually thought it was 100% who buy a course, who invest in the money, do the course. but 95% don't do the course, that's just crazy. So start off with a book, learn, read, watch, get the magazines, go into YouTube, you can get all the information for free, which is like almost the next level. Most of the course information is on YouTube anyway. But to fully immerse yourself, you would want to get a course, but then the final rung to the ladder is to actually get into it, get behind the wheel. Similar thing to when it comes to driving. You can read the theory and do the theory test in driving. In the UK, you need to do that. I don't know about the other countries. Or you can sit in the driver's seat and watch your parents, your brothers, your sisters drive. You can watch them and observe them. Or you can actually get behind the driving wheel and start driving. But the thing is, what is the difference from the point of not being able to drive to passing a test and driving for a year? There is a huge difference in the mind shift. First, when you're starting off, you're inexperienced, you're nervous, you don't know what to do, you're sitting there, But 2 years later, you got the seat back, you got the one hand on the wheel, the other hand is just on the side, you're just cruising. What's the difference? The difference is confidence. And what creates that confidence is doing it over and over and over again. Just like tying your shoelaces. Anyone who knows how to tie the shoelaces, when you start tying your shoelace, the first time you do it, you don't know what to do, you fling the shoe across the room and think, God, I'm never gonna wear shoes again. But then, when you practice, all of a sudden, you can close your eyes and bunny ears, spin around, straight through the hoop, double it, boom, straight out the door. It's practice. But what allows you to continue to practice and continue to move through that process? It's a belief inside of us. That's the only difference. The difference between not driving and driving, the difference between not being fit and being fit, the difference between not learning a skill, not knowing a skill and learning a skill is the actions that you take in between those 2 points, the gap, in between the gap, all the actions that you've taken over and over again. Those actions that you have taken, actions create a story inside of you that you can do it. You know you can do it because you've done it. You might not have done it awesomely the first time, but you've done it. So once that story is created in your head, then all of a sudden you start feeling certain. You're like, yeah, I can do this. Yep, I can do it. I can do it. People, watch me, I can do this. I got this. And that's a belief. When you start saying, I got this, guys, it's cool, don't worry about it. All of a sudden, you create the potential inside of you. The drive, the passion the fuel inside of you starts to burn and ignite. And once that happens, then you start taking more action. You do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. You drive again, you drive again, you go to the gym again, you exercise again, you start enjoying it. Serotonins are released, endorphins are released, the hormones are released. You got certainty, you got story, you know that you can do it, you can move forward, you got certainty again, you got belief, you know you can do it, you got this. Then you just think, I got this, and then you put the seat back, boom, you start driving, you got potential, you start taking more action. Once you start taking more action, you got a story. I didn't crash, I could drive. Oh, I exercised, look at my body start to change after 12 weeks. I could see the difference. After 16 weeks, other people can see the difference. Wow, because you've actually taken action, you've taken action. Once you've taken action, you got more potential. You got belief. You got a story. You got a belief inside of you. You think, yes, I can do this. And then all of a sudden, you become an expert at it. And that's all it is. It's just a never-ending cycle. Round and round and round. But the opposite is true as well. When you try something and you fail at it, the perception of failure, because you never fail at anything. I keep repeating this, you never fail. The only time you're going to fail is either if you stop doing it completely or you die. Otherwise, you have gained massive experience, you have done something that other people haven't, but also the DNA inside of you has shifted and changed completely because you've got up and moved and taken action. And that in itself changes everything. However, if you try something and it didn't work, then you think, oh geez, it didn't work. Story inside of your head. You create the story inside of your head. And once you create that story inside of you, all of a sudden uncertainty starts coming into you. You start believing that you're not great. Then you see your potential going down. Once your potential starts going down, your feeling of potential starts going down, you start taking less action. You start crawling into bed. You start watching Netflix. You start making excuses in your head. You start saying, it's not for me. Or you start putting other people down. That person, look at him showing off. Excuses start to become evident in your head. They start to be created by your head, which cements that story again. And the story tells yourself that you can't do it, which reduces more potential, and then you take less action. And it keeps going around in a cycle. So which cycle are you going to be in? Are you going to be the one that's going to be increasing, chucking the coal on the fire, adding the fuel to the fire and increasing your potential, knowing that you're certain that you can actually do it? Or are you going to be the other side? Are you going to be one of those crabs that pull other crabs down? Are you going to be the ones that make self-excuses? Are you going to be the one that is uncertain in life? Are you the one that doesn't take action? That's going to switch this off? Is not going to move? Are you the one that's not going to create a story in your head? And not going to move forward? You're not going to pick up the book? Are you the one that's not going to take the course? Are you the one that's going to continue to stay where you are? Or are you going to be the one that changes everything? Now, if you notice what I was saying in both scenarios, you have feeling and you got story. Feeling and story, feeling and story, they're all internal. You can have that right now, feeling, the feeling of the belief that you can do it, the feeling of the potential inside of you, the feeling of the story that's inside of you because you took action. The only part of that is actually taking action. So out of those 4, only a quarter, 25% of it is actually taking the action. So where do you start? The story. Make up the story. Make the story. Look at your past and see what you've actually achieved. See what you've done. Take other people's stories. See the success stories. Anything you want to achieve, someone's actually achieved it. Find that person, get their information, study them, create the story in your head. They did it, so why can't I? They're human, I'm human. They've got a heartbeat, I've got a heartbeat. I can do it. Story's created. Then the belief inside of you is created. You become certain inside of you, feelings. Now there's the feeling part. That feeling which you control as long as you're aware of it. The feeling of certainty, the feeling that you can do it. The feeling of potential. And from that feeling and the story, you take action. So guys, 3/4 of it is all in your head. It's all in your mind. So increase your energy. Stop going in a cycle, spiral downwards. That spiral I always talk about, that's a spiral downwards. Or you can spiral upwards to heaven. That's the truth of it. Which way are you going to go? Downwards or upwards? And I believe anyone who's watching this and who's seen this to the full, right to this point, you're going up. And the way you're going to go up is by creating a story in your head. Get the belief that you can do it. Get the belief, the certainty inside of you. See the potential because you have got the same potential as everyone else. They haven't got an extra arm. They haven't got 2 or 3 heads. They haven't got a bigger brain than you. Most of the success stories have never been to university. Most of the success stories that exist didn't have the internet that we have. Didn't have the potential of the same mechanics in an iPhone today in your pocket is the same mechanics that was in a rocket that took the rocket to space the first time. We've got all that. There is no excuses. The excuse is the feeling that we have. Don't go down to the spiral. Go up to heaven. Guys, Keep adding value to people's lives, keep spreading the love, and just remember, we are one idea away from changing that future, and that idea is inside your head. Take care. Bye.